Hello and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be talking about Forza 6 as we now have some solid information following all of the announcements at E3. I don't have any gameplay footage of this. I could go on the internet and steal from somebody else, but I'm not like that. So there'll probably be Forza 5 racing in the background and I'll throw up some pictures as and when they are appropriate. But yeah, on to the game itself. I'll start with the most important thing when it comes to a racing games, the physics. Now, I haven't played Forza 6, but from everything that I have seen, things are looking very, very positive. It looks like the cars drive, it looks like it's very similar to Forza 5, in all honesty. The way the cars look like they handle, at least, it seems like a decent, solid handling model, and let's face it, Turn 10 have been making these games for quite a while now, and they haven't let me down once, certainly, with the handling model. Forza 5 was a little bit difficult to get used to, coming from Forza 4, but I also think a lot of that was down to the controller being quite different. Certainly, the main issue I had getting used to was the braking on Forza 5. Quite a bit of that certainly could be down to the controller, more so than the actual the physics model, if you like. I have no doubt that Forza 6 will drive very, very well. From everything I've seen, it looks like that, and from Turn 10's history, if you like, yeah, there's no reason for it to not be good, if you like. One concern that I did have was with the weather. Now, we're going to have rain in Forza 6, which is very, very good. My fear was that, well, we have rain in Horizon 2, but the rain doesn't really make a huge amount of difference. Yes, it is a fraction different. If you do a drag race in the dry and then in the wet, cars will do, or certainly powerful rear-wheel drive cars will do slightly different times, but it's never really by a huge amount. I did a test with, I think it was a Corvette ZR1, so big, powerful rear-wheel drive super muscle car, and I drove through a speed trap in Sisteron, a tight, twisty, windy little bit of road. There was 1 mile an hour difference between the dry and the wet. And that's not quite right. But from the stuff I've heard about Forza 6, from various interviews and the footage that I've seen, it looks like rain is going to be a decent challenge. It looks like the rain is going to make things all very slidey and tricky, which is good. That's what it should do, especially with the big, powerful cars. You know, they should be hard to drive in the rain. One kind of question that I am thinking of at the moment that I'm not quite sure how it's going to work is regarding tyres. Of course, let's say you're on Forza 5, you go to upgrade a car, you want to put race tyres on it. You can visually see that it goes from having these sort of normal road tyres to becoming these slick racing tyres. But of course, if you take slick racing tyres out on a wet track, you're going to not have a very good time, shall we say. So I don't quite know how it's going to deal with that. If I have a car upgraded to race tyres, are we going to take the slicks out on the wet track? Is the game automatically going to give me tyres that are appropriate for the circuit? So I'll have a racing version of the wet tyres, or will there be a separate wet tyre category? That could be quite interesting, having a separate, a specific wet tyre. So maybe you'll have to have like a dry track tune and a wet track tune that you can swap between in lobbies. Maybe, I don't know. Just speculating on that a little bit. Yeah, it could be interesting. There could be plenty of interesting sort of strategy going on with tyres and the like. Now, speaking of strategy, of course, there isn't going to be dynamic weather. It's either going to be dry or it's going to be wet, so you don't have to be worrying about, you know, starting on a dry track and it gradually getting wetter and so on when you come in and stop for tyre, all that kind of thing. I like that stuff, and I was a little bit disappointed that we're not going to have dynamic weather, but the fact that we are actually going to have rain as an option to drive on, I'll take that. Forza 7, somewhere down the line, maybe we will see dynamic weather. Yeah, it's slightly the same with the day-night. Well, there's going to be night racing in Forza 6, which is again something a lot of people have wanted to see for a while, but again, it's going to be dark or it's going to be sort of normal racing conditions. There's no sort of time changing. A little disappointing, but we've got these features that we wanted now, that we wanted for a while in the Forza series. It'll keep us busy, certainly, for a while. And again, the footage of the cars driving in the wet and so on that I have seen, it looks like it's going to be interesting. It should be a suitable challenge. So yeah, physics-wise, it's looking good. Sort of graphic-wise, well, there's no surprise that Forza 6 looks fantastic. Forza 5 is a very, very good-looking game, and they've had a couple more years to work on it. Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, visually wise, it's also, I think I was reading somewhere, 1080p, 60 frames a second, as you would expect from a modern game, and I expect Turn 10 to be able to do that. Forza 5 runs very smoothly. Things like Project Cars have had a few issues from what I have heard of the Xbox version. I like my PC version, that runs perfectly fine. The Xbox version of that had a few issues, or has had a few issues. I don't know if they've fixed them yet, but I have no doubt that Forza 6 will run smoothly and it'll be okay. It's again, Forza 5, a slightly rushed game, worked perfectly well. So yeah, I have no reason to doubt. Again, everything I've seen of it looks very, very good. Moving on from that stuff to the Carlin track list. These are quite impressive, I have to say. I'm quite happy with these. So as far as track goes, everything from Forza 5 is carried over. So all of the tracks that are on Forza 5 are going to be on Forza 6. So we'll have Nürburgring from launch. I'm so glad we're still going to have Long Beach and Bathurst are going to be there, and so on and so forth. The fictional tracks, Prague and Alps and so on, they're also going to be there. But there are some new additions. Now, depending on where you read, the Forza website says there's 26, but I have also seen it said 24, or I've seen rumours of 24. I'm not quite sure how many locations. Officially announced are only 21 locations, so aside from all of the places from Forza 5, new ones that are known at the moment are Brands Hatch, Watkins Glen, which I'm very glad. I love the Watkins Glen circuit, so we're very glad to see that. Surprised, I wasn't expecting that one in Forza. Rio de Janeiro, which is it's a street circuit. I don't know if it's a fictional. I assume it's a fictional one. I think that Rio was in Forza 1. I assume it's fictional. I don't know if they raced at a street circuit there, but yeah, the Rio street circuit that you'll see in a lot of the pictures that are around of Forza at the moment, and the Daytona International Speedway. Now, that's not something I expected either, but I'm very glad to see it in there, because that suggests we're going to be getting NASCARs back. We'll get to do some oval racing. Also, I'll be assuming there'll be the street layout, the circuit layouts for that as well. So yeah, oval racing will be coming back, which is good. There are 3 to 5 more locations to be announced, depending on where you read. I would expect, as much as I would love to see the New York Street Circuit back, I doubt we will see any more fictional ones. I think we're more likely to see real-world circuits. I would probably expect there to be another oval, maybe somewhere like Charlotte, somewhere that has a road course as well. I don't know which other ovals have road courses. Yeah, I would be surprised if we only had Daytona for oval racing. Okay, yeah, there's Indianapolis, but I would expect perhaps another oval. Maybe we'll see Sunset back even. Sunset from Forza 4. We can roll cars again. Who knows? But yeah, I'd expect another oval with a road course as well. I wouldn't be surprised either if we were to see Suzuka or Tsukuba or Fuji or something like that. There is a lack of Japanese race circuits. I would expect at least one of the additional ones to be, or maybe a couple, Tsukuba and Suzuka. I would expect perhaps to come back, or Twin Ring, something like that. They've all been in previous Forza games, so I wouldn't have thought licenses were too much of a problem to get for them. Yeah, they could well come back, but haven't been announced. As I said, I'd love to see like Iberian back as well, but I'm not sure we'd see that many more fictional circuits. Games these days seem to be going down the route, and let's face it, there's lots of real-world circuits to choose from, of just going for the real ones. That's kind of what players want on the most part. So yeah, I would expect them to be real-world circuits. As far as cars go, well, having Daytona suggests to me we're going to see NASCARs back, proper sort of official NASCARs, if you like. So that is a plus. There are a couple of other interesting additions. Much of the announced car list at the moment is cars that are on Forza 5. As far as number-wise go, again, Forza 5 got a lot of criticism for not having very many cars. Well, Forza 6 has 450 plus is the current number. Not quite as many as Forza 4, no, but it's a good number of cars. Forza 5, while a small car list, was a very varied car list. Unlike the likes of Gran Turismo. Yeah, Gran Turismo has 1,200 cars, or so 1,000 something cars. I counted at one point and there were like 30 MX-5s. I like MX-5s, but 30 of them is a little bit overkill. The Forza 5 car list, while small, was very, very varied, and Forza 6 looks like it's going to be carrying on that with classic cars, race cars, open-wheeled cars, and so on and so forth, just from the fairly small list that is announced at the moment. Most of the vehicles are vehicles that have been on that are in Forza 5, you know, what we've got, Maserati Birdcage, Jaguar E-Type, SLS AMG, you know, sort of your normal racing game cars, if you like. A couple, though, did catch my eye. The first one, the Dodge Challenger Hellcat, we're going to be having that to play around with, which is always good. Any big, powerful American cars is always good. The Tesla Model S P85D, the very fast Tesla, that's, again, could be interesting. Another one that actually I was really pleased to see in the trailer, the Chevy Bel Air. It's admittedly a strange thing to be very pleased to see, but the fact that the Bel Air is in there suggests to me that we're going to be keeping sort of, you know, the slightly silly cars, the cars that you traditionally don't see racing at a circuit, but they're so much fun to modify and try and make a racing version of, or be silly and stick a NASCAR engine in them. They're such great fun vehicles to mess around. So with the Bel Air in the trailer, it gives me hope that we're going to see the return of a few more silly vehicles. Like, I want the Chrysler PT Cruiser in Forza 6. I know that it's a terrible thing, but the fact that you can go racing with them is fantastic. On the likes of Forza 4, I would like to see a few more silly cars, but I know it sounds strange coming from a rather big sort of motorsport fan and so on, but I do like my silly cars. The other great news is the Volvo S60 STCC car. A Volvo Swedish touring car is officially in the game, which is fantastic. Not only are Volvo going to be back, but we're also going to be getting touring cars, proper official touring cars. I also saw somewhere an interview talking about having BTCC cars and World Touring cars as well coming in here. Now, how many we're going to get in each category, I don't know, but the fact that there are going to be some of them to play with is fantastic. Really glad to see touring cars coming to Forza 6, as I very much look forward to driving them. Again, you sort of all your open wheel cars and so on. It hasn't officially said Formula 1 cars, but I would be surprised if we don't. I don't quite know what sort of generation of Formula 1 car we might get, but I would be surprised if we didn't see some sort. As far as cars that aren't officially on the list, but that have been spotted in some of the pictures and trailer and so on, I think somebody has seen a 787B. I don't remember seeing that officially on the list, but 787B and a Bentley Speed 8, and I think there's an older Peugeot Le Mans car as well. It looks like we're going to have a decent number of proper race cars, which is always good. Another thing that has interested me, I'm going to go with interested me, is online stuff for Forza. I've heard a few things about it. First of all, from an interview I saw somewhere, they were talking about having a potential league system. So I'm guessing something similar to iRacing. So you get kind of like a safety rating and a skill level, if you like. So you get put with similar skilled players and so on. It is a good idea in principle. I'd never like these systems, though, because they never quite work. In that it's all very well detecting when collisions happen, that's fine, but it's not always your fault if someone's being a twat elsewhere. The example I give is Dirt. I think it was Dirt 2 or Dirt 3. One of them really pissed me off. I was trying to get an achievement for getting, I think it was the highest level of safety rating, and cars constantly kept crashing into me and taking me out, to the point where I went down to the lowest tier because other people's accidents. Now, it is in theory a good system, but again, I'll wait and judge it when it comes out. But yeah, these things, you can get screwed over by other people by doing nothing wrong on your own and get have your race utterly ruined by other people crashing into you, and because the game collects you were in a collision, then you get in trouble and then get put in the same rate and so on and so forth. Yeah, I don't quite know how it will play out. It slightly concerns me, but we will wait and see. We'll wait and see on how that works. The potentially good news: 24 car lobbies, which that's going to be a pretty hectic race. Let's be honest, having 24 cars, hopefully 24 touring cars, racing around a track. Yeah, that's a decent number of cars. Okay, it's maybe not quite. I don't know how many Project cars get in a lobby on Xbox and PlayStation. Okay, yes, there are the occasional place where you can get a bigger lobby. It's still a decent-sized lobby for a racing game. My real concern is lag. Shall we say Forza 5 has not got the best of reputation, certainly not with us anyway, for having lovely, smooth races. So if we go from 16 to having 24 cars in a lobby, that's asking for trouble, really, as far as connections go. If the servers are a lot better, a lot more stable, then fantastic. It'll be excellent fun. I have concerns. Again, we'll have to wait and see. There's not much we can tell about that until actual release day, but yeah, that scares me ever so slightly. But if connections work, if the servers and so on are much more stable, then more cars, more racing, hopefully. Other features and so on, they're changing the way, I don't quite know what they're changing it to. They're changing the way sort of paints and tunes are shared. Yeah, I don't quite know. I would like to see a return of the storefront from Forza 4. I think Forza 4 did it right there. It was a very it might be a little bit more difficult to find potentially than the Forza 5 one that is just instantly there, but it was a lot better system on Forza 4. You could send tunes out and so on. I think it was a neat system, and I like the fact that like, the gifting of cars and gifting of tunes and so on. Yeah, it is changing from what we have on Forza 5, but I'm not entirely sure what to. I've also heard rumours of an auction house, but I don't know if that is actually true or not. What was the other stuff? I've just completely and utterly drawn a blank. Ah, yes. There one more thing about the car list that a lot of people were worried about. That seeing as there was a lot of sort of DLC and bonus stuff, and people were getting a bit concerned about this. It's not as bad as it looks. Okay, it's not as bad as it looks. Yes, there is a VIP car pack. There has been them since Forza 3, 2. I can't remember which one first had a VIP. It might even be 2. Yeah, there is a VIP car pack. That's to be expected. It's got sort of again the kind of cars you expect: Veneno, 458 Speciale, McLaren F1 GT, Aston Martin Zagato, and a Shelby GT 350R. You know, it's not that much different. I think the Forza 5 one had like the 787B and Veyron, and I can't remember the cars in it now. But the VIP pack is a staple of Forza. As much as I don't particularly like it, but it's there. It's not surprising to see that there. There is retailer pre-order cars, and there is a 10-year car pack. And people are sitting there thinking that, oh god, it's 10-year car pack has already got a DLC before it's even bloody been released, and more pre-order bollocks. Don't worry about these, because all of the cars in them are Team Forza cars. They are not the cars, there's essentially a special livery for them. So let's take the 10-year car pack, for example. There is a Team Forza M5 and a Team Forza Lamborghini Huracan. But the Lamborghini Huracan and the M5 are still in the main game. It's just essentially a special livery. It may be the car, it may be a similar system like the Day 1 cars on Forza 5, where it has a special livery. It may be upgraded to the top of its class or whatever, but that's it. So again, same with the retailer pre-order cars, I believe. Yeah, the retailer pre-order cars have the Dodge Challenger Hellcat as one of them, but the Hellcat is in the game normally. So yeah, don't worry, don't panic about that stuff. That's fine. The cars are still going to be in the game. There are tier reward cars, so depending on what level you are in Forza Rewards, there are vehicles here listed. Now, I'm not sure if they're just going to be cars that are gifted to you at the start of the game, but still be accessible to everybody, so you get them free, so like an F-Type R Coupe, an Aventador and so on, or whether they're cars that you can only get through Forza Rewards. I would assume they're going to be cars that are just in the game normally, but are gifted to you at the start. But either way, it's by now, if you've played previous Forza games, you'll fairly easily be getting up towards the top tiers anyway. So yeah, they're a thing. The other cars that are, again, I'm assuming that some of these cars at least are going to be in the game, sort of like the main game. Rewards for playing previous games. So if you played Forza 4, you get a Focus. If you played Forza 5, you get a Shelby GT500. You play Horizon 2, you get a Ford Raptor. And if you have Forza 5 VIP or Horizon 2 VIP, you get a LaFerrari and a Cohen Secagera. Again, not sure if that's going to be have the car in the game and you just get gifted it if you have that, or whether they're going to be specifically for that. But yeah, I hope it's that way round. It'd be a bit arsey not to, as I have the LaFerrari. You can only get the LaFerrari if you have a VIP in Forza 5. I think that unlikely, to be honest. I do think that's quite unlikely. The one thing that I don't like that Forza 6 is doing, and one thing that I fear it could set a dangerous precedent for, is if you buy the Ultimate Edition of the game, which I was likely to go and buy the Ultimate Edition of the game, because with it you get the car pass, you get the VIP pack, you get all of the bonus like the 10-year car pack and so on. and I can't remember. I think you get, I think there's a Fast and Furious car pack. I don't know. The car pack is a little confusing on the website, on the Xbox Marketplace. But you get sort of every bonus thing that comes with the game and so on. And I think it's 81 quid, which, let's face it, after you'd bought the car pass and VIP, would probably be about the same money anyway. So I was planning on buying this. I would go for this back. I think I did the same thing with Horizon 2, because again, it works out at just about the same price as buying the stuff individually. I think it's probably even cheaper than buying the stuff individually. But the Ultimate Edition of the game, you sort of unlock the game. This is only digital stuff. I don't know if there is a pre-order like from websites for the Ultimate Edition, but the game unlocks 5 days early. So if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get it on the 10th. If you buy the normal editions, you get it on the 15th. That I don't like. I really don't like that, because that's setting a really dangerous thing. For Forza, they're not charging you more money for this privilege, really. But I could well see games start going down the route of, oh, if you give us an extra £5, we'll give you the game a week early. That's starting to get dodgy. That's starting to go, like, I can just about deal with microtransactions, provided they are microtransactions, but because I'll just ignore them completely. But that is really quite dodgy. I'm really not a particular fan, unless it is a typo somewhere, and I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure I've seen it in sort of multiple places talking about it, but that's decidedly dodgy. I'm not a fan. Speaking of microtransactions, I believe there are going to be none in Forza 6. The token system that nobody used anyway is going to be gone, which is good. But yeah, that's really quite dodgy. Everything else I've seen about this, every sort of gameplay aspect about this, it looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to be the game that we wanted Forza 5 to be, and probably the game Forza 5 could have been had it not been slightly rushed, shall we say. Nobody official will tell you that. We all know Forza 5 was ever so slightly rushed to quite a lot rushed to coincide with the launch of the Xbox One. Forza 6 has got loads of new features. What looks like it's going to be a great track list. We will wait and see what other tracks are added, but so far it looks fantastic. A good car list with plenty of interesting vehicles to be driving. The physics look good. We're going to have wet weather races and so on. The game itself looks fantastic. I'm just really not liking what they're doing with the releasing of the game. But yeah, aside from that, I thoroughly look forward to playing Forza 6. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to be doing races. And fingers crossed the servers hold up. That's perhaps my biggest hope now for this game, is that the servers hold up and that sort of versus community races, and if we do large races, everything will stay connected and it won't all lag to hell. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and until next time, goodbye.